Oh, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon and happy new month. Happy new month. It's always exciting to start a new month, especially this last quarter of the year. Can you guys believe it? We are in the last quarter of 2022. How amazing. Where did the time go? Where did the time go? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, I am so glad to be here today, 1st of September 2022, on another session of the Leaders Priority Meetup. And thank you so much for joining us today. I can see my mama, my friend, Dr. Patricia Gonde here with us today. We are kicking off this is something new. We've not done this on the Leaders Priority before. And I love how we just look at different perspectives of the leaders' lifestyle, how we lead ourselves personally. And today we're going to look at businesses, the leader's business. And our special guest for today, I don't know, I find it difficult to call her a guest because she's not really a guest. She's not a guest. She's a co-host, really. So, and she is a member of our Leaders Priority Meetup. She's just been here as a coach, as an expert, as a friend, and as a partner all along. And it is really my special privilege and blessing to be here with her. Can get an echo, maybe we can mute ourselves. Let's mute ourselves first. Okay, right. So I'm going to read Amara's bio so we can all see who she is officially. Yeah. Right, so our guest today, our speaker for today, I prefer to call that. So yes, our speaker for today is going to be Coach Amarachi Stanley-Duru. She's a certified coach, behavioral analysis trainer, and speaker with the Maxwell Leadership Certified Team. And she is an experienced banker of many years, now retired from the banking industry. And currently she is a consultant with small businesses and also the founder and host of the Small Business Workshop. She is a United Nations Industrial Development member, and she is an HP Business Systems and Growth Entrepreneurship member. She is also a life coach. She is a mother of 4 beautiful children, 3 girls and 1 champion. So she's smiling there. Okay, she's calm, she's gentle, but she is someone to be reckoned with because she can really push you to attain your goals in life. She's an author, and she's currently the lead partner and host of the Leadership Training Institute called the Joshua Leadership Project Nigeria. She is a respected and passionate youth development and empowerment facilitator. And she partners with the Keeping It Real Foundation here in Port Harcourt on their special projects with youths around Port Harcourt and the South. So Amarachi is here to talk to us today about the entrepreneurial mindset, developing an entrepreneurial mindset. As a leader, as a business owner, how can you develop and nurture an entrepreneurial mindset? So today on the Leaders Priority, I am honored to have Amara here with us to share on how we can develop our entrepreneurial mindset and spirit. Thank you, Amara, for being with us today. So I'll leave everything to you from now on.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, everyone. I'm just excited to be here this afternoon. Thank you. Can we all hear me?
Yes, we can. We're getting an echo, but it's gone now. It's okay. Yes, very well.
I can hear you.
I can't seem to hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Maybe you should check your mic. Check your microphone.
My mic is loud, but can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you very well, very well.
Okay, I think I might have to use a headset. Just hold on a second. All right, so like I said, very grateful, very thankful. Kate, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. Thank you. So we talked about developing an entrepreneurial mindset. So is it better now? Is my volume better?
Just keep talking. Yes, it's better.
Your volume is perfect. We can hear you very well.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So thank you for having me today. So we'll be talking on developing an entrepreneurial mindset. And can I share my screen? Okay, yes. Okay, so I can share screen. So
you can share your screen.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Let me just, by way of introduction of this topic, say that if anyone should be talking about developing an entrepreneurial mindset, interestingly, I should be the example, because for me as an individual, I would say it's been a journey for me, having to develop. I look at it as speaking about myself, how I took a journey to becoming an entrepreneur. So while we go through this topic today, I think in the areas where it affects me as an individual, I might have to highlight the things that changes I've had to make. But before we get into the real crux of this discussion, the first question we'll ask ourselves is, what is entrepreneurship? What is entrepreneurship? Let's see. Besides what I've written here, which is entrepreneurship is about taking opportunities or risk, setting up new businesses, taking on financial risk, hoping to make a profit. Is there anyone who wants to help us, give us some kind of suggestions of what you think entrepreneurship is, your definition of entrepreneurship? Can I have anyone go have a go? What is your definition of entrepreneurship? Who goes first? Yeah, who is here? Patricia, Raj, Sly, what's your definition of entrepreneurship? Anyone wants to try?
I believe that you've actually summarized it in those four bullet points. Taking opportunity, getting into the market with a product, hoping to make a profit. I think you killed it there.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
and
I just want to add, it's about finding and creating a product or service of value to the market. So yes, that's for me. I think I want to add that to it. Yeah.
The value part is very important. we'll see that as we progress. Fantastic. So entrepreneurship is about taking opportunities or taking calculated risks, which are aimed at setting up new businesses or a new business, taking on a financial risk, hoping to make a profit. There has to be the financial risk and it must be profitable. The hope is that you're going to make a profit. So that makes it entrepreneurship. The idea is that it all aims at coming down to make a profit. Now, who is an entrepreneur? There are so many definitions of who an entrepreneur is, but I particularly love the way this book has been like a manual for me. I've had it for about 6 years. It's a small business guide. I think it's a Lois TSB small business guide, authored by Sarah Williams. And I particularly like how she describes an entrepreneur. She says he's a strong-minded individual. Is a strong-minded person who takes on positive risks with a sense of destiny. That is, there's something you hope to achieve. You don't just go about to take on any risk, any opportunity, anything that comes by, you jump on it. Any opportunity that comes by, you jump on it. Any new product that comes by, you jump on it. Any new sales that comes on, any new idea that comes on, you jump on it. No. There's a sense of destiny. There's something you want to achieve. There is something you want to achieve. So that part, the sense of destiny, seizing the ever-present opportunities. That is who an entrepreneur is. People, there's the part, yes, I'm a business coach and consultant, and a lot of times we talk to people about different ways to develop business ideas and come up with ideas to, build a business. And we begin to say things like, okay, so look at your hobbies, look at your passions, look at the things you love doing, look at your experiences and all that. We come up with those things. There's a part people fail to look at, and that is the place of opportunities. The business or the ideas that really give you the money that you need might not come in form of they may not come in form of the passion, the things that you're passionate about. They might not come in the form of the things that you love doing, okay? They might not come in that you have experience with. It can always be like that. It could come out in the form of things that come up around your environment as opportunities. An entrepreneur is someone who is able to identify an opportunity in his environment and take it. So seizing the ever-present opportunities in the environment, that's what an entrepreneur is, right? Now, there are very important skills which every entrepreneur should have. Where would I keep this thing? Like I should leave this here. There are very important skills which every entrepreneur should have. Number one, you should be able to communicate. Communication. If I have an idea and I have a product and I can't tell the next person what my idea is, what my product is, I will not be able to sell it. I will not be able to make profit. I should be able to get people to see what I'm thinking. Remember that an entrepreneur, for him to be successful as an entrepreneur, you have to get people buying into what you are thinking. So if you're going to run a business, or if you're going to sell a product or a service, or you're going to create some form of network and all that to help you to grow your business, then you must have the ability to communicate your ideas in a way that people will understand. We have a lot of products and a lot of things that we sell or we offer under the John Maxwell team. We have so many things in the Maxwell leadership portfolio. The challenge is, are we able to effectively communicate the products, the services, and the offerings that come with this to our people? Can you tell people exactly what you have? So it's an essential skill every entrepreneur should have, the ability to communicate, be able to negotiate, There's a skill you need to have. Negotiate appropriately, negotiate your value, negotiate when people are telling you different ways. I mean, we could break down this in so, it comes in, we can break it down into so many bits. Negotiation is an essential skill that every entrepreneur should have. You must be able to sell. If there's no selling, there's no money made. No sales, no money made. So you must be able to sell. You must have the ability to build a team. It can't be you, yourself, and you. You have to have the ability to gather people, to mobilize people, to make people to buy into your vision, to get people to buy into your idea, the thing that you want to accomplish. You must be able to get people to buy into it. So besides being able to communicate it, when they decide, okay, what you're saying makes sense, you should be able to build a team. You should be able to get all these people together and harness the abilities of each and every one of them, right? You should have problem-solving skills. The idea of entrepreneurship is to find an opportunity, to find a problem and give it a solution. Fine, that's what it is. I identify a problem, I provide a solution, you pay me for it, that's it. So you should have problem-solving skills, right? You should be a critical thinker. You should be able to analyze solutions, think deeply, think outside of the box. What are people thinking? Because everybody's thinking the same way. But what makes you different is that you're able to see the things that people do not see. So being able to think critically, analyze situations, come out with solutions that people haven't thought of anywhere, that is a very important ability. One of the things that I keep saying, which people do not remember. Okay, so we've listed these other skills, but there's something we forget, and this is what separates entrepreneurs from employees. Ability to manage scarce resources. Knowing that as an entrepreneur, you have to pay your staff, you have to pay your bills, you have to pay taxes, you have to pay for licenses, for permits. Everything is bills, 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 bills. Being able to settle the bills and also pay yourself, and at the same time keep the business running, that defines an entrepreneur. You should be able to manage scarce resources, because first things that we should understand is in the process of building a business, which some of us are involved in, there is a period when you don't make that money. There's a period of growth where you seems as if you are working for free. When you call for a meeting and no one shows up, when you rent a hall and no one shows up, when you print flyers and create programs and create all those kind of things and nobody shows up, that period exists. That period happens when you don't make the money. How are you able as an entrepreneur to manage scarce resources? If you are able to do that, that is a requisite skill to being an entrepreneur. I'm sure Kate can relate very well what I'm saying, because I know those days. An entrepreneurship, you're laughing. You can understand what I'm saying. I'm sure you can relate. An entrepreneur should be able to manage people without being controlling. People don't like to be controlled. You should be able to get the people who work with you or do business with you to do it out of a good heart. These are essential skills. Out of a good heart, they should be able to do work with you happily, joyful, with excitement, not feeling that they are being controlled. Controlling here talks about things like you're forcing people to get involved in certain things. You're forcing people to do this. If you don't do this, this is the consequence. If you don't do this, this is a consequence. Yes, consequent management is important in a team and when you're managing people, but people are not supposed to obey, or people are not supposed to follow rules just because of consequence. Okay, so you need to have the ability to manage people without being controlling. To be able to identify opportunities, we've mentioned that you need to be able to network because you're going to need people and their skills. I need to touch a bit about networking and building the networking skills. When you start a business, a lot of the time, you don't have all that you need. You don't have the money most times. You don't have the spaces that you want, some of the skills and the resources you need, you don't have, and you don't have the money to pay for them or to get them. The ability to build a network, a social network, professional network, build a network where you find the people who have the resources that you need to get things done, even when you don't have money, is very, very vital. Very, very vital. Every entrepreneur should have this skill. If you don't have it, you learn it. You should be able to get people to help you to achieve your dreams without you spending money. It is so possible. The challenge we have business because I don't have money. You have other people, then you can do it. Then you can do it. Because when you build a network, you learn, okay, so I'll just leave this part to the next one so we don't run ahead of ourselves. But it is important that we understand that as entrepreneurs, there are certain skills that are necessary. A number of people here are building their own businesses. So if you are building a businesses, you have to look at this checklist. How many of these do I have? Which of these do I need to improve on? Every entrepreneur needs to know how to sell. Every entrepreneur needs to know how to negotiate. Every entrepreneur needs to know how to solve problems, how to communicate effectively, how to think very critically, how to manage people, manage resources, identify opportunities, and build very strong network. Okay? All right. What are the characteristics of entrepreneurs? Number one, they are visionary. Visionary people, they see what others don't see. That's why they make a lot of money. Entrepreneurs make a lot of money because they can see what other people can't see. People can't see what you're seeing. So you are visionary, and it comes from the place of being a critical thinker. You analyze situations, you create solutions, and you're the first person to come up with this so you can chart the cost for people. So entrepreneurship is very important. You are visionary. They are persistent. You see, in the world of business, no, you should get used to hearing no. You can knock on several doors. Let me give you an example. So in the early days in banking, my boss asked me, my mentor in banking then asked me what was expected of me in the workplace because I was in sales. And I said, I was told to go and draw a prospect. That was my first month on that particular job role. And I was explaining to him that I'm expected to come up with a prospect list that I will share, and then the names of the customers to the prospects to be able to turn them into customers and clients. And he said, okay, so how many people are you supposed to bring? I just mentioned some names, and he said, for you to get 10 people, you need to call 100 people. I was surprised. I couldn't understand. He said, for you to get 10 people to buy, you should call at least 100 people, which means that when I make it, I have to expect 1 out of 10 would buy in their faces. This is the reason why you have huge marketing budgets that are used for advertisements and all that, because they know that they need to keep being in your face. They need to keep calling you. They need to keep checking on with you to pressure you to do what they want to do. Persistence. An entrepreneur needs to be persistent, consistent, which means that the value I deliver today should be the value I'll deliver tomorrow. The only way my value can go is up, not down. I can only improve value. I cannot reduce the value that people are getting from me. I can only go up, improve value, consistent in the value, consistent in the things I promise, consistent in the results I deliver. They should be consistent, right? Entrepreneurs are very curious people. You see someone in competition doing something, the question should not be, why are they doing it? The question should be, how are they doing it? How? Someone is delivering results that are better than you, or even if it's not better, but it's something you admire, you should not ask, why are they doing this? The question should be, how are they doing it? Curiosity is a very important character for an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs take responsibility. You don't pass balls. You don't say, it's not my responsibility. You don't say, my secretary should have done that, or this other person should have done that. It is totally your responsibility to take care of whatever happens in the workspace. It is your responsibility as an entrepreneur. You should be decisive. You should not be afraid to take calculated risk. A lot of times we lose opportunities because we are overthinking the process. We get into what they typically call analysis paralysis. We just keep thinking, should we not? Have you weighed the consequences? Have you looked at the risk? For people like me who have my kind of personality, we've lost a lot of opportunities because we were analyzing, should it be done this way? Why are we doing it? And all that and all that. You should not be afraid to take calculated risk. Take note of the word calculated risk, which means you should look at things and be sure of what you are doing, but do not overanalyze matters, which means you should take a decision and stand by what you are doing. You should be strong-minded. Not every new trend should push you. You have your vision, you have your target. Remember, the first definition, when we talked about who an entrepreneur is, we talked about a sense of destiny, knowing this is what we want to achieve. This is what the business is all about. This is what we want to create. This is our business goal. This is what we want to do, and stick to it. Of course, along the line, you might need to make some adjustments to your plans, to your schedules, to your products and all that, but you'll be decisive. You're committed to what you are doing, and you take the initiative to do things when things are not working according to plan. Let's move a bit faster. Okay. All right. So let's come to the crux of the matter, which is the entrepreneur's mindset. So today talks about developing an entrepreneurial mindset. And if you've ever worked as an employee, you would understand there's a different mindset. Let me see. Is anybody here who wants to volunteer? As the biggest shock you heard was you transitioned from being an employee to an entrepreneur? Is there anyone who's willing to share? The deepest shock, the greatest shock you heard as you transitioned from being an employee to an entrepreneur? Let me hear you. Who's coming first?
Okay, I thought Sly is unmuted, so but let me go. Well, for me,
okay.
I think one of the biggest shock I got was that 9 to 5 was no longer 9 to 5. It was more like 9. It was like, how would I put it? It was like 6 a.m. to there were no structured time. There was no structured time. Business was faster than the business time. The entrepreneurial time was the clock. What would I say? The entrepreneurial clock is not a 9 to 5 clock like the employee clock. So I had to set my own hours. Had to set my own time. When I transitioned, I thought things would be like the 9 to 5. I tried the 9 to 5 and it didn't work. So that was one of my biggest shocks.
Great, very correct. An entrepreneur doesn't have timelines. It doesn't have clock. For me, there's no clock. Things just happen round the clock. Right. Thanks, Kate. Yes, Sly.
Okay. My biggest shock is, first of all, managing my time, like Kate said. I now see that there is no cue to tell me that this is time for lunch or this is time for break. So there was no cue. So I had to provide my own cues and manage my attention time when I need to sit down and do some continuous work and produce a result. But that wasn't the greatest shock. The greatest shock was when I put my product in the marketplace and put a price on it. And walked to the gate of somebody I believed was my greatest encourager. And when I measured my price, I saw the response of an average person. Okay, you were in sales. You know that before somebody buys, you will have to go 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah.
I thought at the mention of my product and my price, it would be an automatic sale. So I had my greatest disappointment that even at the second time, the guy had no time for me.
Yeah.
So that was my greatest shock.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Ah, my brother, I get it. I know how you feel. Yes, Katie, raise your hand.
Yeah, I wanted to add another one. Another shock for me was I didn't see any credit alert in my account at the end of the month like I was accustomed to. Well, that was a big shock. It wasn't like, not that I was expecting, but that kind of thing. I've worked for many years, and every month on the 25th of the month, I get this alert, and when that alert comes, it gives you there's this euphoria, this feeling, this joy that you get. So now I had this rude awakening that first month that, look, Kate, if you want to see alerts in your account, you have to make it happen. So so that was a shock. Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes, absolutely. Thank you. It's a really big shock. Now, so let's not go to my stories. I'm sure our stories will keep coming up as we continue. But you see, this what Kate just mentioned and what Sly just mentioned, I need to build on that to explain something to us. Okay. When you are an employee, you take for granted the monies that come to you. You take for granted the fact that a compensation comes to you. Someone is an entrepreneur, someone owns that business, someone makes everything happen, someone uses his platform, someone uses his network, his opportunities, his brand name. It took the person time to create that brand, to create that name on which you ride to sell his products, to sell his services, to promote whatever it is you are promoting for that company, and they give you a compensation for it. So Sly, where you go to meet people, typically when you go to sell to them, they are not buying from Sly, they are buying from the brand that you represent. So the conversation usually is shorter because there's credibility that's been established because of the brand that you are representing. Now, when you go to this same person, not as that brand, but as your personal brand, the person begins to approach you with a different outlook or a different mindset because it is no longer the brand, it is now you. He begins to wonder what he should do, if he should get involved, and he begins to just seek for credibility. How authentic are you? What do you even know that you're coming to sell to me? This is a one-man show. If you, for example, if you were working as a consultant trainer or as a consultant coach for a big company, people might be quicker to listen to you than when they hear that you are like a company. It's difficult. People challenge your self-confidence. Then you're not to deliver. The person knows that this company was doing well in this area because you were a fantastic salesman or you're fantastic on your own. The person is not listening to you anymore. It attacks your self-confidence. So as an entrepreneur, you need to make a transition, you need to build on your self-confidence. You need to know how to keep knocking on doors, even when they say no. Nobody likes to be told no, but you need to know that you need to keep knocking on the doors. Your self-confidence will be attacked more times than you will even count. Accept yourself the way you are. Accept yourself the way you are. understand that, yes, this is a brand I'm building. This is what I'm preparing. I don't have the full thing that I used to have before, but this is who I am. Accept your business, accept your packaging, the way you are, accept it, accept yourself. You might not be able to speak like a certain kind of person, but you speak well. So accept yourself, accept your accent, accept the way you built your business, and keep going. Accept yourself. Give yourself the self-respect. Honor yourself. Love yourself. One of the things that used to interest me those days as an employee working for someone, we used to make these funny comments then when we didn't understand the going. We'll say, please, I need to leave this company and go and start my own thing. We're going to start doing my own thing. If I put the effort I'm putting into this company to build a business for them, if I put half of it, I don't know if anyone ever said that or ever imagined that. If I put half of the effort I'm putting into this business in my own business, I am sure I will do so well. But you see, the part that we forget, I don't know, nobody mentioned it while we're discussing the shock that we face as you become an entrepreneur, is the part of self-discipline. It's a part of self-discipline that you assign yourself tasks and you follow through. Does anyone understand what I'm trying to explain? You assign yourself tasks and you follow through. Great, Kate, you get what I'm saying. You assign yourself something and you follow through. When you work for someone, it's like someone is supervising you. You are accountable to somebody. When you become an entrepreneur, you are accountable to yourself and probably to your customers. So it is actually in your hands. I like the way, I think there's a way I put it in my book, Moving from Idea to Product. It says, when you want to start a business, on your journey to become an entrepreneur, you don't write any aptitude tests. Nobody's assessing you. Nobody's causing you to write an exam to confirm if you qualify, like the GMAT test that they ask people to write, or those aptitude tests they ask people to write when they're trying to start a job or get into a new role. No one asks you to do that when you're starting your own business. You are the beginning and you are the decider of whatever happens in your business. So learning to discipline yourself, learning to tell yourself what to do and to do it as at when due is a mindset you have to develop. As an employee, you go to work and appear on time because your supervisor will query. No one is going to query you. So you decide whether you come on time or whether you go late. You decide whether you will keep your appointments with your clients or whether you will go late. You practically run your business any way you feel like. In fact, you could wake up one morning and say, I don't want to do this anymore. And you stop it and penalize you. How bad can that be? So for you to have an entrepreneurial mindset, you have to come to a point where you are strong-minded. You are determined. You are focused. You are committed. We've discussed this part when we're looking at characteristics of an entrepreneur. As an employee, you get to the office and some things happen. Your responsibility in the workplace is not to make mistakes. You are not expected to make mistakes. You are penalized if you make mistakes. But if you are an entrepreneur, you should get comfortable with making mistakes because everything rests with you. Get comfortable with failure. So when mistakes happen, or when an error happens, or when you take a decision and it brings a failure to the business, it's okay. One thing you have found out is how not to make the kind of mistakes not to make anymore. You've known that you're not supposed to repeat that or not take that decision, or you have to make a particular consultation. You've learned something new about how to run your business. So the entrepreneur's mindset is that he gets comfortable with failing. You don't know everything. You don't have the absolute knowledge because you are the head. Everyone seems to report to you. Everyone to depend on you to provide leadership, to provide direction. So sometimes you could make mistakes. But that mistake should not make you decide that you will not continue running the business. You see it as a learning curve. You believe that business is a process and you stay consistent. I'll give this example, which I typically use because of where I come from. This is about people from the southeast part of Nigeria. Several years ago, I think that practice still runs now. When a young man leaves secondary school and doesn't go and is going to be able to go to university, someone from home or his father recommends that he goes to learn a trade from one of the older people in the city. So a businessman who's doing very well, whether in Onitsha, or in Aba, in Lagos, in Kano, in any of the commercial cities, the father will say, you will go and learn a trade from this person. So typically, it's expected that this young man will serve that person. Serving means you work with that person. You don't earn a salary, you just work with the person, learn the trade for a period of 7 years. 7 whole years. That's the apprenticeship period. It is the apprenticeship system of the Igbo people. It's an apprenticeship period. Now, for me, that period is a growth process. Because within that period, that young man will learn all the products in the market that the boss is selling. He will learn the different variants of that product. He will be able to identify how the ones that are authentic and the fake products. He will know the different suppliers of that product from the different parts of the world that they're coming from. He will learn inventory management. He will know how to take stock. He will learn accounting. He will learn customer service because he will be able to manage people. He will learn marketing because he'll be running around to get people to do sales. Sometimes these young people sleep in the workshop and they do this thing from Monday to Sunday, depending on the kind of business you run. So for those who run supermarkets and all that, or pharmaceutical companies, you know, it is from Monday to Sunday, every of the week for 7 whole years. That is consistency. Now, you see the result of staying within that process and staying consistent. If the young man stays in this process with the process for about 7 years, at the end of 7 years, his boss or his master or his trainer is supposed to settle him and set him up to start his own business. Now, if you've learned any tell me the reason, any justifiable reason on this plan, and you would know so. The mindset of an entrepreneur. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so the mindset of the entrepreneur is being able to stay and believe in the growth process, stay consistent, stay with the process, right? And be courageous. You
I don't know if it's just me. I can't hear Amara.
tools and everything.
Identify opportunities, identify problems. When you identify a problem, you turn on your creative cap, your thinking cap, get into the creative mode to begin to bring up solutions. Sometimes I look at companies with a wide range of products, and I ask myself, how did these people think of all these different solutions to this product? Or how do they think of all these different variants? What makes you feel that people will need this and need that? An entrepreneur is creative. You cannot lose your creativity. It is something you keep harnessing and sharpening. And the fantastic thing about being creative, or the creative mode, is that the more you create, the more your brain brings out things. The more you are committed to create, the more your brain keeps bringing out things. Your conscious mind just keeps releasing inputs to you, right? An entrepreneur's mindset focuses on identifying opportunities. He does not see issues. How do I put this right now? An entrepreneur will see an opportunity where other people or employees will see a problem. They just say, this is just a problem. I don't know why this keeps happening. This is just a problem. But an entrepreneur will see it as an opportunity, because it provides him an opportunity to provide a solution that will give him money. An entrepreneur believes we can do this. Once there's a problem, he does not say, or she does not say, what are we going to do? The typical mindset would be, how are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? If there's something you are trying to do, you're trying to organize a program, you're trying to sell a program, and it looks like within your environment, the category of clients you're looking for are not there. Instead of asking yourself, what am I going to do? People are not buying my product. You should sit back, get into your creative mode, begin to ask the question, how am I going to do it? When you begin to say, what am I going to do? You begin to you begin to block your minds from possibility thinking. You're not going to begin seeing what you can do. You're not going to be seeing opportunities. But if you say how, you open up your mind to answers, to solutions, they will start coming in. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Your mind will begin to deliver answers on how you can make that happen. You keep a positive mindset, because keeping a possibility orientation means that you have a positive mindset. You believe you can. I can. I may not have the resources, but I can, because I have a network of people who will supply the resources I need. And even when they don't have it, they have another network behind them that will provide the contacts I need. Listen, this particular network has helped me achieve so many things. I can't begin to tell you all. Every entrepreneur should have network building skills. You should have people, because listen, everyone you meet has people. There's a community behind that person. Whether it's a young person, a teenager, a child, an adult, an older person, anyone you meet, anyone you encounter has another community behind him. And being able to build good social skills, being able to have formidable relationships, very strong relationships, exposes you to that other person's network. So when you don't have money to accomplish something, the person refers you to someone who will be able to give you a facility for free, who will even tell you, this NGO will support you in this project. These people will give you money for this project. These young people will be willing to MC your events for free. You will just have support. But you need to keep a positive mindset. Have a possibility, always asking how can we do this, right? Another thing we need to look at when we look at the entrepreneur's mindset is that an entrepreneur is flexible and adaptable. Yes, they are decisive. Yes, they are committed to their vision. There is a sense of destiny to it, but an entrepreneur must be flexible and adaptable when the trends begin to change, when policies begin to change. You should know what to do to change, to make your business adjust. In fact, there are times when you should pivot. You leave what you are doing to move on to bigger things. You should have that understanding. I typically believe we don't do that around here in our country so much, but this is my belief, that you are not called as a human being to do one thing for the rest of your life. At every stage of your life as a person has certain things you're supposed to accomplish within that window, within that stage of your life. So when you have done that, you move on to the next thing that is assigned for you at that stage of your life. So you must be flexible enough to understand when your season in a particular environment or within a particular career or within a particular vocation or venture is expiring. You should understand it and be flexible enough to accept it and move it on to other people. People build businesses and sell them. We don't do that here. People build massive projects, massive ventures, and sell them out for a whole lot of money and use the money to start something else. An entrepreneur should understand that you don't have to die with your business. At some point, you have to move on to another thing. And when you start getting that feeling, please obey, right? Please take your decision and move on. An entrepreneur is value-driven. I like when Kate mentioned it, right? When we're discussing the definition of who an entrepreneur is, she was quick to mention that aside from hoping to make a profit, identifying opportunities and building new businesses and taking on financial risks, he identifies value. So entrepreneurs identify value. They try to find out what is the value. That is a mindset, always looking out for the value, always looking out for the value. I think, honestly, for entrepreneurs, it's not about money. Because if you examine yourself, if you're an entrepreneur in this meeting, examine yourself. What I'm doing as a business, if I wasn't paid as much, would I still be doing it? If I were asked to do it for free, would I still be doing it? That is the place of value. That is the place of value, the place of passion. That is what will make you get committed to a cause, even when it's not paying you as much as it should. Will I keep doing this? We've talked about building networks and having people support you. So entrepreneurial mindset is open to collaboration and is cooperative because he knows I can't do this on my own. Because the vision is massive. Something you want to achieve is big. How in the world can you do it with only your skill set? You should be open to collaboration and cooperation. Now let me mention this, very important, because some people have the mindset that I want to have everything. I want to have the maximum financial benefits or financial returns that come from this investment. That is not an entrepreneur's mindset. I need to mention that. That is the mindset of an employee, because an employee's mindset is hinged on scarcity. I work, so they pay me. I work, so they pay me. I work, so they pay me. An entrepreneur can work for years, work for months, for any period. He doesn't get enough money from his business, but he keeps pushing it. So the satisfaction or the drive is not in the money, is not in the finances that is coming in, but in the value that he's getting. So an entrepreneur should have that mindset, to be open to collaborate, to share money, to share returns, to share the limelight, to share opportunities with other people. You won't be selfish to keep everything to yourself. And when people or you within your network find out that you are willing to share, you will have bigger opportunities. You will have more people volunteering or supporting you to achieve your dreams, right? Finally, an entrepreneur does not stop growing. He keeps learning. You keep learning. I think it was in my book, I mentioned that you don't wait to have all the skills that you feel you need to start a business. Some people say, I can't start this business because I don't know how to do accounting. I can't start this because I don't know how to, okay, let me use, for example, let me look for a very small business. What can I use now? Okay, fine. So someone wants to own a hair salon. Someone wants to run a tailoring outfit, a fashion designing outfit. And you say, I can't open this because I do not know how to sew. You don't have to know how to make dresses. You don't have to know how to make hair. The beautiful thing about being an entrepreneur is building a system, building setting up structures, and having good people work for you. You don't have to be the one doing the work. If you are the one doing the work and without you, the work cannot happen, you are an employee. You are just self-employed, working for yourself. Self-employed is the place to start. For all of us who want to be entrepreneurs or who are entrepreneurs, self-employment is the place where we start, but that is not the goal. The goal is to build a business. The goal is to build a business. And when you build a business, it is not centered on you. So if you're an entrepreneur, you should not be thinking of doing something small. So in the beginning, we are self-employed. We are the idea. We have everything in our head. We have the vision. We come up with what we want to do. We are the talent. Without us, it will not work. Yes, we understand that. But you see, at the end of the day, if your goal is to build a business, we should bring it to a point where we oversee while people do the work. So we oversee a system and a structure, and we have people who do the work. That should be the entrepreneurial goal. And it will require that the entrepreneur confirms to these things highlighted on this template to be able to achieve that mindset. Finally, let me share with you some fantastic people, some amazing people who have been entrepreneurs, who you could look up to as an entrepreneur. So number one, here's Holdings. So here's Tony Elumelu. We all know him, great entrepreneur. We know him from the Tony Elumelu Foundation. If they ask you what Tony Elumelu does, what would you say? Anybody have any idea? What does he do? Can anybody try?
Okay, let me try.
Yeah, great.
Okay, Tony used to be the MD of Standard Busy.
Yeah.
He has a passion for identifying talented, young, entrepreneur-minded in to ensure that they achieve their entrepreneurial dreams. And when they achieve, he's satisfied.
So what's his job description? What's his job title?
Talent hunter.
Thank you, great. I wanted us to be able to establish the fact that he has moved from being self-employed to becoming the MD of a business, of a bank. Now he's the chairman of Heirs Holding. He's the founder of Tony Elumelu Foundation. He does not sit to supervise any of these offices. He now is a business owner. So people and structures now do the work. Do we understand what I'm saying now? Do you all get what I'm talking about? What I mean now by having structure and people. Tony Elumelu is the chairman of UBA, but he doesn't sit in UBA. Tony Elumelu is the chairman of UBA, but he doesn't sit in UBA. He doesn't go there. Folorunsho Alakija, she is the chairman, founder, Rose of Sharon Group. Yet, she sits over these different businesses, oil and gas, and everything runs feeds into her because she is now a business owner. This is which was the Britannica Oil Company, right? Am I correct? Britannia, I think. Britannia Oil and Gas, I think. She owns that same company, amongst others. And they all fall under the Rose of Sharon group. So you can't say she's sitting at Britannia or sitting at this other company. She now is someone overseeing systems, structures, and people. And here's my humble self, Amarachi Stanley-Duru. I'm overseeing self-employed right now, overseeing Mara Consult Limited, overseeing small business workshop and idea bridge project and other things that are coming up under me. One day, I will be the head watching over systems, structures, and people. So there is other small box here. I don't have your picture. You could insert yourself there. Your dream as an entrepreneur should not be to remain self-employed. It should be that one day you will be group managing director, overseeing different businesses, because there are systems, there are structures, and there are good people. If you have any questions, we should be taking them now. Thank you. Over to you, Kate.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Amara, for this. This is really, really great, building an entrepreneurial mindset. And I just love that perspective from the last slide you shared with us, where we can insert our pictures into the box, because we are entrepreneurs. And I think that's why we are here today. If you're an entrepreneur, that's why you're here today, because you're an entrepreneur and you want to learn how to build an entrepreneurial mindset or to enhance what you already have. So thank you so much, Amara. This is really great. I just sat through taking notes and listening attentively. I don't know if you can take us, succinct presentation. That's GK, yeah. Can you go back to that slide on entrepreneurial mindset?
Okay.
Take us to that main slide, that one. Yeah, this one. Yes. So this is really food for thoughts for me. And I want to come from the perspective of seeing failure as a learning curve. Yeah, so I just want to, for me, failure has been something that it's ongoing. As an entrepreneur, it's ongoing. And most of the time, we don't deal with failure the way we don't handle failure in the right way as entrepreneurs. We get discouraged, it slows us down, and then sometimes we just abandon ship and we quit. Now, my question really is this, and it's something that I saw it somewhere, and someone mentioned it's silent quitting. So how do you quit silently as an entrepreneur? What are the signs to show that you have quit being an entrepreneur? Because sometimes you can still have that business, or you're still doing the business, but what are the signs really?
Okay. The silent quitting, is it that you have decided to quit, or that you are not involved in the business, but you are still there? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, okay, we're running a business, but because you are so discouraged, things have not been working the way you want it to work. So you are not bringing the energy that you're supposed to bring to the business. Mm-hmm. You are no longer feeding the business. You are no longer learning to improve the business. You're actually no longer nurturing the business. You're just there. I'm probably trying to decide, maybe this thing to just die naturally so that I can transition to something else. Because like you said, silent quitting, you're quiet. You're not doing anything to make it survive. You're just like watching someone that's in coma, waiting for the day he will die. So that's a part of it. And that the other part to it is where someone has decided that I won't do this anymore. I will just gradually, I would gradually win myself for the business and move into something else. And he wouldn't announce that he's going off the business. He just moves on. So the signs are the things I've mentioned. There is no commitment to the business anymore. Your creativity seems to have died. You've lost the ability to be creative. All your positivity disappears, right? Those are the signs that someone is being silent on his business or is quitting on his business. You've lost the positivity, you've lost your creativity, the energy that you typically bring. What still you are not asking for help? Because that's when you know that something is definitely wrong. The person is silently quitting on the business. When you have challenges with your business and you want to really do this, you ask for help. Because entrepreneur, that's why you build a network. That's why you try to, have people around you, collaborate and have and cooperate with people. So when you come to the point where you are no longer asking for help, you've already quit on the business. So those are the signs that someone is silently quitting on his business.
Thank you so much. That's so good. I like the analogy of watching someone in coma waiting for the day he will die. So your business can be in a coma and you're just waiting for the day the business will die, right? Okay, thank you so much. That's a good one. Yes, Lai, you want to add something?
Okay, it's a question.
Okay.
As we established at the beginning of this presentation, there are many surprises for somebody who is going from employment into becoming an entrepreneur. There are so many shocks. Because of this experience by people that want to go to school to work, someone who just left school said, I'm not going to work for anybody, because I see that people that work in employment, sometimes they go into autopilot and they work for somebody forever. Sometimes they forget themselves and they keep on working. But when even they remember themselves and try to come back to become entrepreneurs, they face challenges, from which most of them
say that people they are doing a business, meanwhile they are employees of their business. They are employees of their business because they just keep going back to it. I don't want to work for someone. You know yourself, you're working for your freedom. That freedom. So the first thing you need to understand is that this same entrepreneurial mindset, it's what the person should have. So first thing, the person should understand that the fact he does not go to work for someone else and he's starting from the scratch means he has to learn some things by himself. He's going to build some personal leadership skills. That will be where to start. Very critical, because when you work for someone, you are led by the person. You are forced to learn how to behave. You learn business ethics because the person teaches you. You learn customer service because you are forced to learn it. You learn how to sell because you are forced to learn it. You learn how to mannerisms, behaviors. You learn data confidentiality. You learn processes, bookkeeping, and all that because someone forces you to learn those things. Now, if you want to go and build your business firsthand, you should be prepared to sit down and learn all these skills by yourself. Intentionally, you don't just go on and start. You will have to learn these skills by yourself. You have to learn customer service, customer management, relationship management, inventory management, data management. You have to learn selling. You have to learn branding, personal branding, business branding. You have to learn business ethics, behaviors. You have to learn all those things by yourself. So I typically will advise anyone who wants to start a business, if you don't have money, better go and work somewhere. Gain some kind of experience. If you don't want to work full-time for money, take an internship, volunteer at an organization. They will train you to work for them. They will train you. So you don't have the money to go pay for these trainings because they will be expensive. An entrepreneur does not have money. One of the critical skills that we mentioned entrepreneurs should have is the ability to manage scarce resources. So you don't have all that money and you'll be able to invest so much money in the beginning to just train yourself. So go and volunteer. Take an internship program. You don't want to work there, go. They will train you. If nothing else, they will teach you how to wake up in the morning and come to work on time. Self-discipline. They will teach you how to hold a meeting, the things to expect, how to write reports. So if you hire someone, this is expectation. This is the report I expect for you to render to me. You know what to expect from employees because there were some things that your boss expected from you. So I don't think anyone should just get up and go rogue and just start doing. You will spend a lot of time, spend 5 years trying to recover from the mistake you made in your first year. So that's my answer to that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sly.
Right. Thank you, Amara. Yes, and that was a very great question. And what I'm really getting is entrepreneurship is a choice, is something that we choose. You deliberately choose to be an entrepreneur. And I'm also getting the thought, I'm thinking it's really not for everybody. Am I correct, Amara? Entrepreneurship is not for everybody because sometimes I think we force ourselves to, maybe because we are not happy with our jobs or where we are at that point in time. And we decide that, oh, because I'm not happy with my job, I'm not happy with my boss, I'm not happy with my company. So I think I should just leave and go and start my own business. Okay. While that is not, I don't think that is the right motive for becoming an entrepreneur, just because you're not happy where you are. Becoming an entrepreneur, it should be a deliberate choice. And like Amara said, all those things that you have to learn, you need to be sure that you learn them. And I think from my perspective, when I started out as an entrepreneur, I didn't start out intentionally that, okay, I just want to quit my job and become an entrepreneur. No, I was already doing something before I quit, before I left. But I didn't really think of myself as an entrepreneur then. You know, in the sense of the word, I had to learn. I had to learn along the way, learn through my failures, and then it took me a while to courageously call myself an entrepreneur. Yeah, so it's a choice that we make. Sometimes we make it in the beginning, sometimes we make it midway, sometimes it's forced on us, but I don't think it's for everybody. What do you think about that, Amara?
Okay, so I'll put it this way. Everyone can be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
But not everyone becomes an entrepreneur. There's a difference between what you actually can become and what you are willing to become. Because becoming an entrepreneur requires a lot of self-discipline, requires that you learn new skills, requires that you make a lot of adjustments. It's not easy. It really isn't. But the fact that you can be makes it open for everyone. You can't rule it out. Let's take, for instance, if I grew up in a family where there's a family business, the likelihood that I'll become an entrepreneur immediately, my first choice of going to work, my first choice of income will be to build a business. It's very high because that's what I'm exposed to. That's what I know how to do. So I can become an entrepreneur. Someone else can learn, like we've been discussing, what to do, how to do it, come up with ideas, identify opportunities, and become an entrepreneur. Take the risk and do it. Someone can learn it. So people are birthed into being entrepreneurs. Others learn to build a business. You know how you said when you started your business, you never really saw yourself as an entrepreneur. It took you a while before you could convince yourself that this is really who you are. So others can transition in, so anyone can do it, but not everyone is willing to make the sacrifice or to take the risk. So that is a decision, like you said, is a choice. I don't want to take this level of risk. I don't want to do this. Therefore, I'd rather stay and do regular 9 to 5. I'm comfortable with it, and that's fine. It's actually a choice.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Amara. And really, it's a choice that I think whatever you choose, whether to be an entrepreneur or not, what I'm getting is you just have to have a growth mindset and be actively learning through it. What I'm getting is you just have to. Okay, thank you so much. While you were talking, I just remembered I have this book by my good friend and someone I call my big brother. It's called The Entrepreneur, How to Run a Business Successfully. It's by Olusoji Oyawoye. It's a fellow coach in Maxwell Leadership. I'm going to post this. The Entrepreneur, How to Run a Business Successfully. So it's a book that really threw a lot of light and perspective into being an entrepreneur, especially from our Nigerian perspective, starting out from being employed to self-employed, a lot of hands-on experiences. It's a book I recommend you pick up if you can. The Entrepreneur by Olusoji Oyawoye. I'm going to post it in the group so people can see it. And if you can, get a copy of that book. It will help you on your journey. And also another book that I will recommend for this session is the Amarachi's books. The Moving from Idea to Profit. Let me show you. Moving from Idea to Profit. Yeah, these are Amarachi's books. It comes with a workbook as well. It's your first steps to starting your own business. Your first step to starting your own business. So these two books by my friends, my friends and fellow coaches are great starters. Even if you're already in business as an entrepreneur, and probably like Amarachi said, your business can be in a coma. Maybe your business is in a coma, or you just have some things are not really working the way they are supposed to. Amara mentioned I think she mentioned the mentoring system of the Igbos somewhere in the presentation. Mentorship is key to success as an entrepreneur. And I think that's a question I have for Amara now that I'm thinking about it. What is the place of mentorship in entrepreneurship, as an entrepreneur, especially from your experience? Can you share with us, please?
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Kate, for that question. Mentorship is critical. Like I mentioned during the presentation, you cannot, people say the Igbo people, they are fantastic business people. It is the mentorship model. There's no other way. It is a mentorship model that has separated the Igbo tribe from every other tribe. And if you look at the Jewish tribe as well, in running their business that everyone globally says the Jewish tribe are fantastic business people. It is the mentorship program. It is their mentorship program that sets them apart in business. Everyone needs a shoulder to climb on. Everyone needs to work with someone who has seen where you're going to, been where you're going to, that can tell you these are the pitfalls. It will make your journey shorter. It will reduce the challenges that you're going to have. It will save you the loss of investments and so many other things. So mentorship is critical, not just in business, in every area of pursuit that you determine to follow. It reduces your journey. It makes the journey shorter for you. It makes sure the losses that you would have incurred are reduced to the barest minimum if you follow who know road. That's how they say it in local parlance. Follow who know road. That's what mentorship does for you. You follow who know road. So it reduces your journey and makes it easy for you to get to where you're going to faster. So that's how I'll respond to that, Kate.
Thank you so much, Amara. That's a great one. Yeah, GK is asking, what if the mentor is not sincere? Please, you can change mentors. It's just like mentorship is by choice, not by force. So you can change mentors. If your mentor is not sincere, if you're not getting the best from them, from him or her, please change them very fast. Okay, and this question, I think I would love Sylvester to answer this question for us. What is the place of coaching in entrepreneurship? Yes, we talked about mentorship. Now, I want to hear about coaching. As an entrepreneur, is coaching really necessary? And is it something that we need or should subscribe to? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. So when people say I'm a business coach, it sounds very funny to a lot of people because you don't understand. I'll give an example. In the last couple of weeks, I've been working with a business that started just like that. And when I came into the picture, when they asked me to come in and I asked questions, I'm like, okay, so what is the startup costs for this business? They had no idea. No idea what the startup cost for the business is. Okay, so how do you intend to make money out of the business? How would you know when you break even? If you don't know how much it costs you to start the business, how would you know when you start making profits? What is your staff cost? What are the fees you've paid? So many questions that I was asked. Do you have a business plan? There was none. And I'm talking about a big business. At the time we evaluated it, the business is in excess of 200 million. Someone was able to invest 200 million naira in a business without a business plan. Business coaching helps you to know how to start, how to structure, and how to scale. This is my definition of what business coaching does for you. These 3 S's: how to start, how to structure, and how to scale. There is a way to start a business. You don't just wake up one morning and you love a fantastic idea and you just hit the road and start doing it, which is what this new business I'm working with did. You need to know how to start. There's a way to start. You have to plan it because you design the business before the business itself starts to exist. A business is designed before a business starts to exist. So that should happen. So when you want to start, that's the time to begin to make consultations. That's the time to begin to ask for advice. begin to ask people, this business I'm about to start, what is the government policy around it? How much do they charge for taxes? How should I register it? Should I register it as a trustee? Should I register it as an NGO? Should I register it as a limited liability? Should I register as a cooperative? Should I register as a sole proprietorship? You need to know, because you need to consult. You understand? So business coaching becomes important from the beginning. There are names you give your business and people will not pay attention to it.
Right.
There are names you give your business, it puts people off. They say, what kind of name is this one? So business coaching requires that they help you to put together what kind of name you should give your business, how do you brand the business, what do you call it, what kind of legal fees will come up, what kind of tax. You know, there's something called tax avoidance and tax evasion. Do you know that there's some business you can register and you won't pay tax for 5 years? People don't know. Having those consultations in the beginning of your business will save you a whole lot of things. A whole lot. Strategy, location, the channels you will use, physical. Would I start with a physical location or should I start with an online location? You know, all those things come in the beginning of planning a business, and business coaching helps you to establish that. Now, when you've already started without having business coaching, so business coaching now helps you to correct the errors that you've made and then put a proper structure to your business and provide you a system that you can use to scale the business. That's why I keep mentioning it is important. The importance of business structure and business coaching rests on 3 things: to start properly, to structure rightly, and to scale your business. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Amara. That's so good. So business consulting, that's very, very, very key. And I think that there's always this mix up between business consulting and business coaching, because I think it's not just business consulting and business consulting and coaching. We kind of, most often we get mixed up between those 2 interventions. I know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because
absolutely.
sometimes even in the definitions, we get it mixed up and all. So I don't know, Sly, I think I love what Amara just said about, yes, right. Because you need to have, you cannot think on your, you cannot do all your thinking by yourself. That's really what I'm getting. And sometimes when we start out as entrepreneurs, we start out with all these fancy ideas, great ideas. They are moving from idea to profit. The ideas are all there. They are in your head. Sometimes you've written them out. Sometimes you even have your business plan, but you have not really so you've not consulted with anyone. You don't have a mentor. You're on your own, totally, completely. That's a one-man army. Now, I know Sylvester is a coach and he coaches business owners and entrepreneurs. So I would love to hear from Sylvester the importance of coaching to business owners and entrepreneurs, because I know you do that. You have, as a coach, you do that. So what are some of the things that you have seen coaching entrepreneurs, business owners, and how important is coaching to them? Yes, Sly.
Okay, before I can say anything in this, I just want to say thank you. I was clapping my hands for Amara because she has opened my mind actually to understand. Maybe I'm now looking at my own business. Am I really an entrepreneur? Am I just an employee in my business? So that has opened my eyes, and I think I'm tending more to being a worker in my business and not a business owner, not even an entrepreneur. So just say thank you very much. Coaching generally kind of brings awareness to the coachee. Yeah, in any organization, in any subject, a coach, tries to get the coachee to think into what he is doing and try to identify the roadblocks that might be mitigating against the person having an expanded view or seeing the whole gamut of possibilities in what he or she is doing. Yeah. Some people may have, maybe in business, they have a tunnel view. Yeah. Have a tunnel view. You don't see all the dimensions of what you're doing. But when a coach sits with you and you try to answer the questions, because one of the beliefs we have in coaching is that the answer lies within the client. Yeah. Only he has not, thrown enough light in that axis. So a coach helps the client to have awareness of all the possibilities and to identify roadblocks that may be mitigating against, having the full-blown business you should have or you have the capability to build. So that's the purpose of what a coach does. A coach doesn't need to actually understand the business you're doing. He doesn't need to know what you're doing, but he helps you to think into your business in a way that you discover what has been there ever since, but what has not been visible to you. So that's what a coach does. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you, Sly. That was so great. That was so great. So
thank you, Sly. I understand that, and that's very, very true. A coach does not have to understand what you're doing, and that's where a lot of people also miss it, because in the general, just say business coaching, they tend to just say, we'll teach you how to, just like what I explained around business consulting. A coach really doesn't have to know what you do. His ability to make you draw out the answers from within you, to open your eyes, is really the most important value you get from business coaching. Thank you, Sly.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's so important. Thank you. Thank you, Amara. Thank you, Sly, for that. And really, what I'm also getting, like Sly just realized, okay, am I really an employee in my business? Am I a business owner? So if you're asking those questions, those are great questions to answer for yourself. And I can tell you, these two books that I recommended will help you to answer those questions. And this book, I've had the privilege to sit with the authors of these two books.
By the way, do you have those books with you? Can I get them from you?
Okay, I will find out how. I don't have copies of The Entrepreneur, but I will find out. Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Can you just keep speaking?
Okay, yes. So I'm going to find out how to get copies of The Entrepreneur, but copies of Moving from Idea to Profit are available right now. So you can just send a text message or call the number in the chat. We're going to Amara. Yeah, it's there. The number in the chat. So you can call that number for copies of Moving from Idea to Profit.
I need it.
Yeah, and The Entrepreneur, how to run a business successfully. You can also, I will find out how to get those copies from Soji. But I've had the privilege of sitting with these authors, and I can tell you, when you're running a business, don't do all your thinking by yourself. It's important to have sessions with people who are experienced and people who, like Amara said, follow who know road, right? People who know the way, they are going the way, and they can show you the way. People who are actually involved in entrepreneurship, and they are also consultants, they are coaches. So I can tell you, sit with them, they will help you to really refine. And not for free, please, I paid. So that is part of the journey that you can you all hear me? I'm getting a message that my bandwidth is low. Can you hear me?
Your audio is coming on and off.
We can hear you.
Hardly complete.
Oh.
I don't know where it's my end anyway.
Apologies for that. Okay, so thank you so much. I don't know if we have any more questions right now. We are really above the top of our time today. Do we have any other questions? Okay, do we have any other questions before we close? No? Right, so no other questions. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to our speaker for today, Amara. You did really fantastically with this topic, developing an entrepreneurial mindset. And we are grateful. We've learned a lot and our awareness has shifted. And the recording is available on the Leaders Priority group, Facebook group. You can go there and listen to the session over again. I'm sure you're going to pick up new nuggets, from Amara's teaching today. So the next Leaders Priority meetup is coming up in October. It's not going to be on the 1st. Okay, next session, October 3rd. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Raj, for that. So you'll get notifications from us before then. And if you have any questions, maybe if you think up new questions, things that you could not really, it didn't really feature on this session, and you feel, okay, I think I need clarification on this, you can post it in the chat, or you can send us a message, or you can post it in the Facebook group. Amarachi is there. She's going to pick up the questions. And you can also follow Amara on her social media handles. So can you post your social media handles in the chat, Amara, so we can pick it up? So you can follow her on her social media handles, and you will get a lot more nuggets from her. And you will also get maybe some new tips to run your business and to structure your business, because that's something she does very well, business structure. Thank you once again, everyone, for being with us on this meetup. Yes, IG and Facebook, Amarachi Stanley. You can follow her on IG and on Facebook. Thank you once again, everyone, for being here with us. Chike Magic, I see you at DTM. Joshua, Raj, Rosita, Sly, thank you for constant support. It's amazing. So we will see next month. And before then, you will hear from us. We will communicate with you. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day and rest of the week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.